Welcome. Let's break that chain.
Never break the chain.
Welcome to our
There you go, one.
found footage. I'm Star-Lord. His brother. His brother. We just found him out. Ego, the living clay half-brother.
I actually am like a hybrid between Ego and Star-Lord. I actually have a beard.
You definitely have an ego. Oh, that's what this thing does. I knew it did something. Okay.
Let's change to the other elements.
So Matt, let's
The
talk
element gun?
about Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
This is our found footage, guys.
Guardians of the Galaxy
2.
Volume 2.
We both saw this movie. Obviously,
One of us
it'd
is Star-Lord
be
jacket.
a little weird if we didn't see this movie and we were trying to review it. So,
I'd still review it. I just from that last trailer was awesome. So,
well, I went into this. I read a couple reviews, which I shouldn't have beforehand. It was like not as good as the first one. Still good, but not as good as the first one. And so
that's how you felt. Give your review right now, then.
hot garbage.
So as usual, guys, we're gonna do our spoiler-free review and then spoil the hell out of this because we want to talk about it.
I'm trying to pull up the IMDb just so we got the names.
Yeah,
Take a sweet-
he spelled IMDb wrong.
Sweet time.
Let's show what we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
The old-fashioned
Okay, this is one of the Angry Orchard
Orchard's
special
Edge.
ones. It's the old-fashioned aged with cherries, orange peel, and bourbon barrels.
Wow.
Gross.
Frost. That was really good.
That's super good. Oh, that's good.
I want more of those. Jamie would like these too, I think. But it's not too cherry-ish.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bourbon, a little cherry, a little orange. It's like everything. Everything we want it to be and more. There we go. Guardian.
That's good. That's like almost on par with I can't remember the orchard, the brewery's name, but they make like the Necromanga Con and stuff like that.
The Necromanga Con.
And the Dude's Rug is another one they make.
Guardians Volume 3.
I think it's called Bee Nectar.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is already on here.
It's called Bee Nectar, yeah, because it's already greenlit.
It's like, you know it's going to be there. Okay, I got the cast here.
Yeah, I got my NASA shirt on in honor of the Space
cast.
theme.
Because I already know Chris Pratt's in the movie. Thanks, guys. Okay, so as we always do, we will talk about just a little synopsis and just a little bit of what we felt about it, and then our review, and then we'll go into the spoilers. Probably about 10 minutes in, we'll get to all the juicy tidbits.
Tidbits, they're called.
All the chafed nipples that we can get into.
So, Matt, are you going to give the synopsis, or would you like me to, or?
Yeah, why don't you do the synopsis time? Because I always do it.
Usually.
Yeah,
so. Obviously, if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a misfit, a ragtag bunch of adventurers get together to save the galaxy. This is a continuation kind of that story, where these same band of adventurers are still together, roaming on the same ship. They get kind of called in to investigate something. I'm trying to be as vague as possible. And it ends up kind of pulling this thread where the main character finds something out about himself, and
that changes everything.
But it stars obviously Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Zoe Saldana is a character named Gamora. Dave Bautista returns as Drax. Vin Diesel does the voice of Groot, which is it's hilarious. Bradley Cooper is the voice of.
I don't know how much you did.
A CG character named Rocket Raccoon.
Chipmunk his voice.
My boy Michael Rooker as Yondu, a fan of the podcast. So with some new people, new
Karen
cast.
Gillan's Nebula.
Karen Gill, yeah, as Nebula, but also Pam Clementif.
Her name is
As a new character named Mantis, who's new to the crew, as well as there's a lot of people in this movie,
and of course Kurt Russell as the.
Who does?
Can we say what his character is?
He's character named Ego. We'll just say that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Before the spoilers, and not a spoiler because it's actually in a trailer, but he turns out to be Star-Lord's dad. Which is
so you're saying Taserface is not Star-Lord's dad? Then?
Taserface confirmed, not Star-Lord's dad. But I mean,
Taserface.
But congratulations to you, Taserface, for being great. So let's get into talking about the movie and some trash pandas and everything.
Okay. Well, so. The reviews I read is not as good as the first one, and disagree. I love the first one very much, and this one was at least as good as that one. And everybody I've talked to who's actually seen like a regular human has been like, "This is a great movie." Well, not like a talking head on that's got like a podcast,
or a not raccoon,
or not a trash can. No trash cans.
No trash cans.
But everybody I've talked to has said that this movie at least is as good as the first one, which everyone critically acclaimed. I've never heard anyone say I didn't really like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said it's good to fantastic. And so I felt really good about this movie. There were so many jokes that hit that even in the slow parts, you're still kind of laughing. The beginning was a little slow, but you're still kind of laughing. You felt like you were just laughing. And you felt like there was always a laugh in your stomach, ready for the next good moment, or sometimes not good moments. Sometimes there's a lot of poignant moments in this that. I don't really get emotional during movies. I'm not one of those people that's like gonna. He cries. I don't, but I had to do like the Obama tear a couple times. So I had to do the little wipe away because it was super emotional.
Yeah, and that is definitely because of the great underscored greatly by the soundtrack,
the acting. I mean, the acting is especially for Drax, Dave Bautista. His chops have gone from like here to here.
I watch him play any emotionless being.
Yeah, but as an emotionless being, he was hilarious. He was so funny. Like his moments on the screen with Mantis were fantastic. There were so many good things in their interactions,
and also they had a really good chemistry.
Those two definitely. It was so good. And they slowly move the Gamora storyline along
in the best possible way.
I think so too.
The best timeline.
And they kind of all had like little pair up teams. And
I thought one of the things I will extol in the good department was I thought that each character had just an "oh yeah" moment. Except for Mantis,
everyone did. Even Mantis had like cool moments, but she was just
she had a cool moment, but I think because they were more introducing her that it wasn't like
she had that really.
But the established characters, every one of them had like jumping into a monster's stomach, or picking up a giant gun and shooting something, or flying through the thing and doing this, or
even Nebula and Yondu, who were kind of like the new people.
Yondu, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but Yondu had the best, in my opinion, moments in this film. This film was for Michael Rooker, and I will extol to everyone, give this man an Oscar.
Well, here's the thing too. It really shows how much James Gunn liked Michael Rooker, and how good Michael Rooker is at just being this character.
And like the character he made of Yondu as well, because this is not the actual Yondu in the comics. Yondu in the comics is more like a Native American kind of just very virtuous. Spiritual and virtuous. And it's like this version of him is all James Gunn's, and I love it. It's a great character.
Like you always used to tell me you were an Emmys. Oh, that was just a term of endearment.
I'm Mary fucking Poppins, y'all.
Oh man, that there's so many good moments that were just like you pumping your fist in the air. It's like.
Yeah, and Sean Gunn returns as a character too from the first one, and they gave him a lot more to do, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they gave a lot of characters, for the most part, a much better arc.
And the Nebula
had a good arc.
And the new characters though were also interesting and fun, including Ego, including Mantis, including Taserface.
Taserface. Your name's Taserface?
It's a name you chose for yourself.
Like you're looking in the mirror. There's not too much we can do. Let's talk about the bad stuff. There's a couple bad things in the movie. The plot, the way the plot moved in the beginning was very slow and weird.
Yeah, I actually was not. I was kind of not into it at first. Not like in a bad I'm not going to watch this, but I was just like, what's going on here?
It was right after the beginning fight scene. It was really slow. My biggest issue with this movie was the way the villains were kind of fleshed out. One villain, which we'll get into the spoilers.
Well, she was introduced. You can talk about it.
No, I'm not going to talk about that's it. I'm talking about the other villain, who's kind of ends up being the main villain. I felt like there could have been. He just turned on a dime. And I was like, oh.
See, I didn't. I actually did not get that vibe. Because I was thinking along the lines, and we'll talk about this in spoilers. Actually, we'll talk about this spoilers.
Okay.
But I was actually more upset with how they treated Aisha and
The
all
Sovereign. The
yes.
Sovereign.
And all like their whole race. I just thought they were like a joke.
They were like a no name. They didn't even need to be there. But then they made it sound like
they're basically like another version of the Korean.
There was like a tag at the end that kind of made it sound like they might be in it again. Like I don't know.
Oh no, they will be in a huge way. And we'll talk about that in the spoilers too. In a huge way.
But why would I care? That's the thing. Like they didn't make them.
You'll care
terrible.
because of the person that.
Well, I know who it was, but
you'll care because of that.
Well, and the way they linked them was actually correct.
Yes.
Or correct-ish.
Yeah.
At least in timeline. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, the whole way they treated the Sovereign.
By the way, there was
like,
5 after credit scenes. Let's just talk
they're
about
all
that.
great though. They're great little scenes though.
Yeah, all of
They're
them
not
are
long. They're funny. And they're not after credit. Like a lot of them are in the credits.
Well, during the credits. Yeah, during the credits. That's true. There was a lot of good little cameos. Howard the Duck again. They had Cosmo the dog at one point. Stanley and
the Watchers.
And the Watchers. Yes.
Also, Baby Groot. I thought I was going to get annoyed with him, but I didn't. Like
I thought he was in there just enough.
Yeah, just enough. Like his parts, like everyone's like, oh, he's just going to be too cute and he's just going to throw him out. There's a couple parts like, okay, yeah. But like really, there was one scene in particular, the one where with Yondu and Rocket, which was,
and we'll talk about that in the episode too, because I definitely
like I could have watched that scene. I would have paid $10 just to watch that scene.
That was actually the first scene I remember bona fide Jamie just laughing out loud, chortling
I was laughing my ass off, and Aiden wasn't. And
because I think she was a little confused at first. Because the beginning is a tiny bit confusing, especially with the introduction of the one villain and then one not villain at the time, and yeah, it's like she was definitely. I could tell like she was definitely kind of like trying to sort through it, and but like at that scene she was just fully laughing. It was great.
Yeah, and just that scene was. I would have paid $10 just to see that scene for like 10 minutes or whatever it was. So,
the deliveries were spot on. I thought Chris Pratt did an amazing job. One of the first laughs and one of the first like laugh out loud moments was the trash panda scene there, and that was perfectly delivered. Like I was not expecting that, and then when he said it, I was like that guy in the theater.
I was expecting it, but then their interactions between them was so good that it didn't really matter. Even if you're expecting these jokes, they were just so good. Like some of the stuff you saw in the trailer was still equally as funny. Seeing it in real time in there, it was. What did it so well.
What got me more than actually the humor, which I was expecting from James Gunn, and from all those characters and all those actors, was the poignancy. Like the moments where like the characters were discovering themselves and discovering like, who they really were.
Sure. And a lot of people say when it comes to stuff, a lot of people say when people use music that it's because their plot isn't as good. But the music in this really augmented the plot so well, and was relevant to a lot of the points in the movie. When the music came on, I was like, "Oh, this song is actually relevant to what they're talking about."
I agree.
And it made it so much better. It was such a good.
Like it made the soundtrack, because I've had the soundtrack for a couple weeks. It's been up for a couple weeks. Yeah. It made it feel It made it feel curated as opposed to just songs you picked. Like Watchmen, where they had all those songs. It just felt like oh, Zack Snyder picked a bunch of songs for that movie. Great.
He liked them.
Yeah.
He smashed 2 action figures.
Yeah, he smashed some action figures together. But this, it felt like it was curated, where like there were certain songs were picked, certain like maybe even the scenes were kind of written around it almost, and it was so great. It like felt it made it go from more than just like a popcorn film to like an artsy film. Plus the fact that the visuals, like the points in the movie where they had this, it was mostly CG most likely, but it was still just such beautiful visuals in some of the scenes. On the one planet, which we'll talk about in the spoilers because I can't really say it without spoiling it. And like even in space, the one of the end scenes there with the
even with like when the sovereign ships all pop in, those things are visually stunning.
If they're not nominated for a visual, because I know they're not going to get acting Oscars. Hashtag Michael Rooker Oscar. But if
a lot of them acted this shit out of
their parts. But give them some visual effects Oscar nominations at least, because they were gorgeous scenes, beautiful. And unfortunately, we saw this in 2D and in shopping film.
Oh, really? Okay, I saw it in 3D.
I want to see it. I'm going to see it in 3D at some point. But
Well, luckily
Yeah,
I
myself.
had a gift certificate because they're so expensive.
yeah, we actually had some gift cards we used. Even in 2D was gorgeous, just like beautiful, and like it just hooked you right there. Let's give our ratings because I think we can't really give anything else without spoiling this, and I want to talk more about this a lot, and I know I don't want to go too long for everyone
And
else to watch it.
it's actually yeah,
Yeah, it's perfect time. Exactly. So I'll go first. Like again,
Okay.
you usually go first. I thought this movie was. At first, I felt let down at first because I was like, high expectations for the last one is great, but then like it just got better and better and better,
Sure.
and like the poignant moments were really what got me because it was like in the middle of this like kind of like jaunty, fun popcorn film that was the last one. You had these moments where these characters were connecting, and there was. Let's talk about the spoilers, but there's one character in particular, Michael Rooker's Yondu, who I thought went above and beyond with the writing, with the acting, and with just every scene he was in. He just stole the scene, and it made me happy.
He's capable of doing it.
Yeah,
You've
and
seen
like it made me
in
so
Walking
happy
Dead.
to see him do that kind of acting,
Sure.
that kind of work, because like he comes off as such like a chill, casual dude, but he's a great actor, and he was great in this role. I'm going to give this a badass movie. I would watch this again completely, and like just for the end portion, like the last 3/4 of the movie, like the first fourth of the movie was a little slow, but everything else was amazingly good, and I was so happy with how the whole.
There's a
thing
couple.
and also what they set up with the end scenes, the end scenes and stuff.
I'm gonna play off yours because there's a couple little hiccups in the middle for me, like the Nebula Gamora thing, where like we're fighting now, we're best friends. Like no, I don't know what's going on there, but there's a couple of things like that. But really, my thing, although I love Michael Rooker, he was great, and he was one of my favorite things about the movie was Dave Bautista. Man, I did not expect what was happening with him to happen. Like every scene he was in, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, just
That must be so embarrassing.
completely into his character. I was like, this is so good. Like when
I could see him like going method, maybe.
where
Like, going method. and
he
just
talks
being,
about
like,
it being
the-
disgusting. I was
Yeah.
like, this is so fucking
because you are so
good.
ugly.
He's like,
You're
he's like,
physically repulsive.
Yeah. He's like, I wanted to see. I was like, I like to see the good on the inside of people, especially when they're ugly like you. Like,
It's like you're beautiful on the inside.
yeah, like oh, it's so like every scene he was in, I was laughing my ass off, and I'm like, gee, he really like cares about this part. That's so cool, Like, I definitely give this a badass movie. I don't know if it's better than the first one, but it might be. It was so good. Maybe we'll have to watch them side by side or something. I'll do a marathon. Yeah, I'll do it.
And we'll review it again.
I will watch 100 of these movies if they keep doing them like this.
Yeah.
Like they're just like they care. You can tell James Gunn cares about this property.
so much, and
More
they're-
so than the Avengers just pumping out the machine.
They are
type
his
thing.
characters too, and you can tell,
Yeah.
like especially with Yondu, as I said.
I almost don't want to see them in Avengers because I think they're too good for the.
well, and
Avengers.
they're just going to be a side thing.
I think
like,
they're too.
oh, we're
good-
going to shoot
Yeah,
somebody in that.
I think they're too good for the Avengers movies. I think
Yeah.
they don't deserve that. I think they deserve that full screen
I
time.
feel like they're going to be more of a cameo. Yeah.
I don't want to see them in it almost because they're so good. There's so much. It's like putting Deadpool in an X-Men movie. Like it's so much better.
Although I watch him in X-Force.
I would watch it, but it's not going to be as good because it's not going to be him. It's going to be him with other people that are either
Well, he was going to Colossus.
well, either he has to steal the show and then it's a Deadpool movie, or he has to not steal the show and it's not as good.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead, a character that is very underused in anything ever.
I give the badass movie though.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad we agreed on this. Cause
So 1905. So the spoilers come up. Okay, guys. Thank you for coming. If you haven't watched it, go watch this in the
Please watch
theater.
it. Yeah.
Watch it in 3D.
And then come back and
watch
then,
it in IMAX. Watch it all of it. Go back and watch it in 2D after that, just so you know the difference.
watch it in 1D. Watch a line.
Yeah, it's just a line with
That's all
sound.
you have to do.
Just got the sound.
What is going on? It's a line. I don't know.
Watch it in 4D. Maybe you'll go back in time during it. I don't
Or
know.
do like the Interstellar 5D thing where you're looking at a library.
Yeah, you're in a library. You're pushing books off
There's
the
a
shelf
tesseract and
for no reason.
there's little gravitational waves
It's,
vibrating.
it'll help later.
Who knows?
Like, if you hear a sound in your house
Who
tonight,
knows?
it's because you watched it in 5D
You
and
watched
you,
it in 5D.
and you went back and pushed a book out of your
Do I have to
shelf.
go into a supermassive black hole to do that? I don't know.
Figure it out. Maybe the Guardians will get you there, though. If anyone's gonna get you, that's the Guardians.
My name is Shadow.
Thanks, guys.
Let's talk about spoilers right now.
What?
Right now.
Is it 1905? It's really 1956.
No, it's fine. We
kept
didn't spoil
talking.
anything.
We just kept
That's
talking.
okay. We didn't spoil anything. So it's fine. 1905. This is for you guys. Let's talk about the elephant. Yondu. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
He
was an elephant?
All the scenes. Because he was amazing in my mind. Amazing. The action scene where he's just walking through the ship, just whistling and just casually walking, just everyone's fucking dying.
Yondu was goddamn invincible with that thing on his head. Like, he was a murder machine.
Yeah. I was like, I want to be Yondu. That's
So how can anyone beat this guy?
Like if someone asked me what superpower do you want, Yondu.
Plus, his arrow pierces everything.
Yes, I told it to Jimmy. I'm like, his arrow is literally can pierce just about anything, literally anything, and not be deterred.
Yeah, he could kill the Hulk with that.
This is okay, Kyle Hill. I know you're a fan of the show. Because science, this arrow, man. Because this arrow is some fucking.
We gotta type him or something. Yeah, we'll type him something.
Yes.
But yeah.
Because that arrow was fucking a murder machine.
But.
And then the scene with him and Rocket, and then Rocket's just firing out the walls and shit.
Well, first of all, they had a weird bromance thing that happened.
Which was great.
Yeah, it was so good. Because they realized that they're
really
the same person.
Yeah, we're the same person, basically.
He's like, I know how you feel because I am you. You know, I know how that is, you know. But the scene where they're in jail and they're talking about this, and then Groot comes up and
they're trying to get Groot to bring him the fin,
They're trying to get Groot to bring him the fin.
Yeah,
and so...
Well,
funny. Everything that happened in the scene was
that's your underwear.
Good.
That's my underwear, boy.
He pulls that desk up and like, oh! He's like, no, it's like, I told you it was this big. Everything he does in that scene, and Bean Groot doesn't really say a word. He just
walks back dejected.
Now, here's the thing, the premise was Baby Groot, when he turned back into Baby Groot, he was like a baby, so he didn't really know anything anymore. He didn't have it. He didn't have any of his old memories, presumably, but he was still.
Well, because he's just a seed of Groot.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a spawn. Of Groot.
So they were basically kind of teaching him everything again. So a lot of times he has very dumb baby actions,
which are very realistic.
But he's like dumb baby mixed with murder machine.
Yeah.
So it's not a good. That's not a good thing. Yeah. His little baby murder screams.
I like when they made him a little Ravager uniform. That was cute.
Yeah. Well, and then they were kicking around and being a jerk to him. He's gonna fucking murder you. He's a murder tree. He's a murder tree. Okay. But let's start with the beginning part of the plot. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So we skip to our favorite.
We'll get back to Yondu because there's more of them.
We'll definitely get back to Yondu.
It's where my heart right now.
Okay. So the movie starts out a little slow. Okay. But
then the fun, that great first scene where they're fighting a monster. Drax is inside trying to,
and he's like, he knows his skin is the same thickness on the inside, right? And then they finally kill the guy, and Drax pops out the other side because the hole they shot in him. He's like,
the hole
that I slayed the beast.
The hole that was cut in him by Gamora. She put that sword into his
goal. I guess he had we somehow had a hole.
That was weird.
But still, Drax's face pops out of the hole,
covered in yellow goop.
And he's like, I slayed the beast. And
I alone have slayed the beast.
That's when it really starts. I was like, that's when the Drax train starts going.
James Gunn and the writers, and obviously the other writers, gave so much good material to every character.
Yeah. And they really did a good job bouncing they kind of set everybody up in pairs.
Yes, sir.
Which was good. And they kept bouncing them around pair to pair, and you're
and changing them up too,
get your laughs. They changed them up as well, but every pair would have
little
such a interaction with each other. That was I want to see this over and over. I would love this formula in every movie.
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
No, seriously.
So after the first scene, things just start going bad for them.
And they're setting up the Sovereign as the bad guys, the big bads of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. They're setting this up. It's really slow, but it's fine.
The big bad is kind of all Rocket's fault because he steals these batteries, and the Sovereign, he steals them from the Sovereign, and the Sovereign
this is a trash can,
are very prim and proper, but they don't
they don't take lawbreaking at all.
They don't
in
take
any form.
Yeah, it's
Which is in the plot is very clearly stated, like almost too clear. Where you're like, okay, I get it, exposition.
Well, even the point where he's, oh yeah, I heard you guys are major douchebags, but that's not.
I'm winking with the wrong eye again, aren't I?
Just that far, I was like, oh, so good.
Bradley Cooper does a great job with that accent too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the accent's supposed to be, but it's great.
I'm winking with the wrong eye again, aren't I? And the chick who plays Aisha, I don't have the thing open anymore. I've never seen her in anything, but she was very convincing.
Yeah, I think
beautiful.
She was a model before that.
Too, yeah.
Well, that's the point of the Sovereign. There's supposed to be these like genetic designed race.
Debicki.
Oh, that's a different
Debicki.
person, I thought. I was thinking Mantis. Who's the
She's Palm.
Yeah, Palm.
Clementine.
Clementine. We'll say Clementine. But yeah, because they're basically the Sovereign are this genetically designed race to be perfect being. Everyone's a perfect being, which doesn't.
They're all designed like in a lab,
which is a very Stanley kind of thing. Like
they're all perfect. They're all
beings.
beautiful
Like,
and gold. So
okay,
they all look like Oscar statues.
Yeah, basically.
There's a very, very funny scene where they're on the on world and they're rolling on a carpet very slowly.
Yes.
She's like,
And they get
scooting
stuck.
along
Yeah,
on it,
that was
and
funny.
they get stuck and she can't go. 'cause she can't
Jimmy
sit
laughed
on
a
the
little
carpet.
during that scene
That was
too.
pretty
Yeah.
funny. I was like,
I actually like
So good.
the most relatable scenes I kind of related to Jamie because she has like no foothold in this world where it's like I'm like, oh, it's Howard the Duck, and she's like, okay,
Howard the Duck. No duck tits though.
but no duck titties. Sorry, guys. But yeah, like I got all nerd stuff, and she doesn't. So when it like translated to where she was laughing out loud, I was like, okay, cool.
Sure.
You know, it's a legitimate like the trash panda thing. I was like, yes.
Wait, is that better or worse? That's worse.
It's much worse. He's like, it's much worse. But yeah, like the composition of this movie, I thought, especially after like that kind of that scene right after the first scene was great. And I realized why that scene existed. That was slower. It's
Let's
because
talk about Kurt Russell and Ego. Let's get into that.
Good to see Kurt Russell back. First off,
Kurt Russell, Ego, it ends up being Peter Quill's
he's like
dad.
70, isn't he? He's like in his 70s.
He looked great.
Like,
He looked freaking great.
Might as well be in his 50s.
He looked like he could do another Escape from LA movie.
Snake
Snake
Plissken
Snake Plissken there.
Escape from Orlando. Escape from DC. I don't know where he's
Orlando. He's an old guy. Yeah, he'd be Orlando.
I'm already here because I'm old.
But he was great. I enjoyed him. Maybe the motivation was kind of weird how it switched.
See,
at the end.
I didn't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because Dr. Manhattan,
Sure.
he stopped caring about people, but what was happening when he was caring, when he was talking to Peter, was he was reminiscing. And so for him, he was like, oh yeah, this beautiful, this love that I have in my heart, and then he was like, but I don't have it anymore. When he got to the scene, he was like, I don't have it anymore because I'm past it.
He's like, and to get past it, I put a tumor
in your mother's fucking head. And that's exactly what that's what I understood, like, what his motivation was. And I was like, no!
And then, when it showed him, the young Kurt Russell just having sex with all the aliens, I was like, oh, shit.
But when you said the tumor thing, I literally went, no! And I went, no, in the theater. And then Jamie looked at me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I had to say it there. Because I knew it was going to be shitty, but that was shitty.
That shit's fucked up.
That was shitty.
Oh, shit, that's fucked up.
And then Chris Pratt as Star-Lord was incredibly believable after that. Like, nope, you're gonna fucking die, motherfucker.
He's like, I thought I gave you everything. He's like, yeah, you didn't put a fucking tumor in my mom's brain, asshole.
You killed literally the only person I love.
Yeah, like the only thing I had in this world, you destroyed.
Yeah. So it's a great impetus for Star-Lord.
The part before that, though, when they're throwing the fucking ball around, like, wow, like, what a great scene that was. It's like, he just found this guy's his dad, and then the figurative and literal of throwing this ball around, I was like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, holy shit, like, the writing in this movie is great. I'm like right at this point, wow, like, that, like, this is what he's always wanted in his life. This is the thing he's been missing, the peace.
Well, and they both played it so well, too.
And then they start throwing this ball around. I'm like, this is what you would fucking do. Like, if you first met your dad, what do you want to do? What do you want to throw a ball around? Like, and then he did it, and I was like, holy shit, James Gunn. I'm like, this is, like, fantastic. It made me feel so good that somebody can write like this now, and like somebody can direct like this, and just like make it. a movie.
And obviously, like, he was given carte blanche. Like, they were just like, do what you want because we know that you're awesome and you made.
And have your brother have a bigger part. Go for it.
Yeah. And Sean Gunn was great though. Like, he was great. And his little end scene too was awesome too. When he has the arrow and things and he hit Drax. Ah!
And he pierced Drax because that's what the arrow does.
Because the arrow kills everything.
The arrow kills everything. Luckily, I don't think he kills Drax. We should be good.
Which was even more. I was like, how'd the arrow break? And then I was like, oh, because the eagle cut it in half.
Let's talk about the Gamora and Nebula thing that happened. This was probably not necessarily the best thing, obviously, but I think it did at least move along their plot. And maybe put Nebula in a different spot for Guardians 3.
I think what it did is explained why that was the way it was and why both their dynamics were. It changed their status quo because now they understand what the other one went through.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and Gamora was like, you know what? I had it better because I wasn't having my head, my limbs chopped up and shit. But I had to fight my sister every day of my goddamn life.
I still had to win.
Yeah.
If I didn't win, I would be in the same
Yeah, exactly.
boat.
It's like I won because I didn't want to get my fucking arm chopped off or my brain taken out of my head, and stuff like that.
Which happened because Thanos isn't the worst.
Yeah.
In case you weren't sure.
In case you needed to have Thanos is maybe he's not a garbage person. No, he's
I don't
awesome.
know why this guy's so bad. He made his daughters fight each other, and then whoever lost, he'd chop off a piece of their body and replace it with a robot part, just to make them stronger.
Whoa, dude! Whoa!
Dick.
Wow.
By the way, in the comics, he has a lot more kids.
Yeah.
Not his kids, but
And he still could.
slave kids he brought in and made into his children awful fighting machines.
He's also in love with death as well, the literal figure of death.
Let's talk about because there's not really too much we can do about this. Let's talk about Mantis because she's the new Guardian, we'll say.
You feel alive.
She starts off as
I thought she was great.
as Ego's assistant, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm here because he liked me.
They help
him put him to sleep.
Yeah.
And so she's this person. Basically, she's not. She's technically
Which isn't the same comment,
but she's an empath.
Not the same thing from the comics. It's
She is an
actually
empath in the comics.
She is an empath from the comics. She's also human in the comics.
Yeah, she's Vietnamese and German,
Yes.
actually.
That makes sense.
She's a telepath, an empath in the comics, and she can talk to plants.
Yes, because Groot's there. Why not?
And also, she marries a tree in the comics. I read all this earlier. Weird shit.
Oh.
And she marries a tree. There's
Not Groot, though,
There's
right?
multiple versions of Mantis because somehow she got broken apart and then turned, like, each one of the pieces turned into a
comics.
fully fledged Mantis.
Because comics.
She was also a DC character for like a hot minute for no reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff about Mantis. But in this version, she is basically like almost like a child, like
Very
persona.
childlike. And because she's basically kept by herself and raised on Ego's
She's kind of like
planet.
a human bug person, like almost.
Yeah.
But
No,
she's an
I agree with
empath, and she doesn't really know much about anything because all she's done her whole life
Is live
with Ego.
Yeah.
And put him to sleep. So when she meets the Guardians, she starts learning stuff about the other things in the world and
the universe, in general, yeah.
And that's kind of when she kind of lets them know, hey, this guy is not all nice.
Well, because she starts caring. She starts caring about other people, including the Guardians, including Drax. And
especially
she's like,
Drax.
Yeah, and so she's like, I gotta
romance,
warn
maybe,
them.
guys? Huh?
Well, actually, there's an article which I did not read, where Dave Bautista talks about where their relationship might go, in the third one.
I can see it definitely going there. I mean, it was a good dynamic for both of them. They really had
great chemistry.
Terrific chemistry. But yeah, then she kind of is like,
I
hey,
can't wait to see what they do with her in
everything
the
here's
episode.
not all cracked up to be type thing, and so yeah, okay, that's really enough.
So before we go, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about Yondu's.
Oh wait, let's talk about the cameos first, and then we get to Yondu.
Okay.
We'll save
Okay.
So we had the cameo of Sylvester Stallone. They've been talking about him being in this movie for a long time.
I thought he was going to be Judge
Stakar
Shred.
Ogord. I did too, actually. A lot of people did. His name was Stakar Ogord. And basically, he is actually a main character in the Guardians from the 31st century, I think it is. Yeah. All the characters that were part of the Ravagers were actually like this Guardians group from the 31st century.
What about Major Victory? He wasn't there.
Major Victory's not there, but he's not. He's I think he might end up being the third one. But
I'm down.
He's Major
He's
Victory.
fucking weird.
Major Victory is actually one of the original Guardians.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's why.
That's why he might not be in
But
there.
he's also
also that robot dude. Remember
He's
the
hard to
robot
package
dude?
though.
I'm trying to think of the robot dude's name. Is Nam maybe or something like that?
No.
That robot guy. There's a robot dude too.
Yeah, I know.
He might be in the third one. Who knows? But anyway, they had
Cosmo the dog, guys.
They had Sylvester Stallone. They had
Michelle Yeoh, I think is one of them, wasn't it?
Michelle Yeoh was one of them. Yep. Steve Agee was one of the Ravagers. I loved. Rob Zombie was one of the Ravagers. What?
Because why not?
I didn't even know that. Also, James Gunn's dad was in this.
Just why not his brother?
Oh, Ving Rhames. That's what it is.
Ving Rhames, yes.
Okay, so Michael Rosenbaum, who was Lex Luthor in Smallville, he was Martin X, who was also one of the Guardians of the 31st
the Diamond Dude?
Diamond Dude.
That's okay. I was wondering. I was like, that guy looked kind of familiar, but he's like covered in diamonds. I don't know.
Ving Rhames was another one. Seth Green's Howard Duck. Okay, he did the
Miley
Cyrus is Mainframe. She's also one of the 31st Century Guardians. Yeah, I didn't even realize she was in the movie. Somebody's like, "Oh, I remember seeing Miley Cyrus." I didn't remember seeing her.
That's why.
But she was in it. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Miley was in it." I didn't realize she was in it.
James Gunn, man, all over the place with these cameos.
I missed the part where Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, no, he's in the credits. He was in the credits. Jamie actually pointed out, saying, "It's Jeff Goldblum."
Jess told me that. Just like, oh, he was in the credits. You know, I did not know that.
David
and then Michelle Yeoh.
David Hasselhoff was in this movie. Let's address that.
That was what Peter Quill's like ideal.
He told everyone his dad was.
But that was also his ideal father. You know.
Yeah.
So that was like his ideal of what a dad should be. Was David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Specifically the Knight Rider
version. Michael Knight.
And at one point, Ego, when he was talking, turns into
David Hasselhoff and said, "Yes, thank you." And also, if you notice in the end credits, there's a David Hasselhoff song, which is on the Awesome Mix Volume 2.
It was well done. Okay, now we'll get into our Yondu. Well, let's make sure we'll get into Yondu, then we'll talk about how everything ends. Yes. Okay, so Yondu had a bigger part in this, obviously,
much bigger,
and basically it was
and more cohesive as well.
And he had a redemption almost.
He was almost a main character, like he wasn't really a side character in this.
No, this.
Guardians role.
Guardians is a very ensemble piece.
Yeah, but he had a very pivotal role.
And he was definitely part of the main ensemble.
Yeah.
And so he basically we find out that Yondu has been he's a Ravager, but his Ravager group's like the outcast Ravager group. Like the other Ravagers are like they don't like
like hated, and because Sylvester Stallone basically comes in as
universally
like, we're ashamed of you, and we
he's
don't
like now 90 the other 99 Ravagers won't go into this one establishment because you let him in.
Because you were here, It was just like,
damn,
what the fuck?
So what did you do, son?
And you find out that he got caught smuggling children.
Well, it's because he was helping Ego get his kids.
Yeah, because Ego is a dick.
And so
you guys are here for the spoilers.
Yeah, you are here for the spoilers. You know, he turns into the big bad, and he's fucking awful. But it's because he's a sociopath because he doesn't care about anything.
Well, yeah, he's an immortal god.
He wants his main agenda is to turn everything into Ego, everything into him, spread his seed throughout the world. Gross.
Which is seed, by the way. That was one thing I didn't think of it before, but it's one thing I was not cool with. I was like, just like this splooge, this like gray blue splooge that was flying out.
It almost reminded me of
the blob. It was
of the Ember in the Magicians when he makes you drink his imbibe yourself with his essence.
Gross. No, but like basically like
gross.
This like fucking silly foam, glowing silly foam is like coming out.
He's fucking everyone's planets.
Yeah, it's like fucking. It's not even doing anything. It's just like sitting there, and so when it like stops, it just like sits there.
But supposedly when it envelops when it envelops their planet, what happens is it turns it into Ego.
Yeah, but what the fuck?
And it'll look like Ego's planet basically. Like everything else looks like him,
which is nice.
And then he'll just run everything.
To be honest, it's nice.
But then he'll just run everything, and there'll be nothing left. It'll just be him. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Like, he's not leaving anything alive. It's just him.
I do like how they used it because in the comics, Star-Lord is half human as well, but his dad is just kind of like a Kree type dude where he's like Jason of Spartax, which is he's just like a tougher human. He looks human, but he's tougher than humans. So that's why Star-Lord is tougher. But in this one, he actually has the powers of a god because he is like half god because of Ego, who is a celestial. they do a good job saying like, well, if this planet is destroyed, you lose all your powers, and you're just kind of still tough, dude. But actually it connects to the first one where he's like, I found you because
You held an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, you were holding an Infinity Stone, and I was like, what dude can hold that? It must be my kid, you know. And I thought that was really cool. Like there was a good sinewy connected. And James Gunn's so good with that.
Yeah.
So
you
good.
also find out that there's a bunch of bones in the bottom because he found a bunch of his other kids, but they weren't as good. So they all died.
But you know what, Matt? He may be his dad, or he may be his father, but he wasn't his daddy. That was Yondu.
That was Yondu. Let's get back to Yondu. Okay,
Please get back to Yondu.
so he had some
It's
great
Michael
scenes.
Rooker.
He had like
Hashtag Michael Rooker. Austin.
basically all the. It ends up with his group of Ravagers revolting against him, including the main Ravagers,
Taserface.
Taserface. So you looked in the mirror and you thought, this is going to be a good name. I'll call myself Taserface. Like that whole scene, it seemed like it was going to be a little too much, but it was just enough. It was like,
Just no, and that was every one of the scenes was like, this is going to be too much. And it was like, no, it was good.
yeah, like it could have been an episode of Family Guy, but it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just enough. It was like perfect. Perfect.
You didn't Seth MacFarlane it, and we
So
thank
he
you for
is
that,
he
so.
gets his old fin broken, like the
Yeah, the
mohawk
little
fin.
tiny mohawk. Which in the comics he has this big grandiose fin on his head, which is
It's
not
almost ridiculous.
It's not cybernetic. Another difference for the character, but how they co-opted that into his body, I thought was much cooler in the movie.
Sure. And so that's when that Babe Groot scene we talked about earlier happens. He gets his fin. He murders like everybody on his ship.
This super kill.
Like they're all running after him, and just like this arrow is flying through like 8 people at a time.
And he's just casually walking around and just whistling and then
music
Murder,
playing,
murder,
just being
murder.
awesome. Like there's a couple.
and
Great
they
solos
give
and
Rocket
things
like a gun to shoot people. It's like, you don't need to be the Rocket. He's got this.
You catch like the stray guy. You can get stray guy.
He's got this, man.
There's like 200 people, and he's killed like 900. He's killed like 198
Yeah.
of those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, it gets to the point where he's basically part of the Guardians at this point. And then there's a
When
big,
he like gets a ship to rescue.
there's a
him.
big basically after they find out Ego is the major villain of this movie. He is also a living planet. If you didn't know that already, and they're on his planet.
They're on him.
The other way to destroy him is to get inside to where his brain is in the planet and destroy
core.
the brain. And destroy the brain much like a zombie.
But with a bomb.
And also the brain is gigantic. So they get there and they're fighting inside this planet. Plus the Sovereign jumps in there, which
like dicks.
yeah. Almost, it was
Like
almost
bitches,
like
dude.
X mocking a bad guy, like, oh, well, it's only a brain left. And like, oh, these guys just happen to be in here now.
Assholes.
Okay. I don't know how you wouldn't be destroyed by 1,000 of these ships also flying around here, but okay. And then everybody can fly at some point, too, for some reason.
Everybody.
Yeah, like everybody just has a flying power of some kind.
Well, they also have the little on your
Yeah,
back
but it's
thing.
like Ex Machina almost. Like, oh, Star-Lord can just fly because he's got the god power, but also then you got this thing. Now you can fly. Now this guy can fly because he jumps really high, and this guy, like, okay, all right, we're flying, I guess. But it did
It was
cause.
cinematically
It
good.
was cool for the space battle scene that was inside this planet,
But also, Matt, they only had one jetpack left and one shield.
which is something that I feel like they've already done before when Gamora was outside and he took the mask off, but this time. Not,
Well, and
not
that
as
was,
good for
and if
Ultimate
you watch
Science
Because Science with Kyle Hill, that's physically
I
correct.
just
That's how
watched
it
that.
would
It's
work.
one of the new ones, actually.
Yeah, that's how it would work.
And so, like in this last thing, he's like, you take this kid and you get back. And then you're like, no. Before that, though,
No, you do.
like I already had been like the teared up had been moved up because Drax, when they first got on the ship, when Peter Quill was still on the planet, he goes, "Where's Quill?
Yeah.
Where's Quill?" Like,
Yeah,
goes
just
on,
like-
and my eyes like welled up.
And Roger Raccoon's just like, we gotta go.
yeah,
And you knew that neither of them was wrong.
yeah,
Like,
and you
neither
knew
was
Peter
wrong.
was gonna live, but you're like,
But still,
Yeah.
you're like none of them is wrong. Like, you gotta get the fuck out of there. Everyone's dead. But also, where's Quill? Like he's one of us, you know.
I was like,
Yeah. And so they like just that whole sequence built
it built so well.
this feels.
And the music, the father and son song that came
And,
on.
and then there's they're both flying up, and they get past the atmosphere. He's like, you can't do this. He just puts a shield on him, and he's like, you can't do this. No, and he's just like free his face, free his arm. Like, ah!
Yeah, it was
So good, so well shot. Michael Rooker Oscar.
We need to find out what the real hashtag for that is and make sure people hashtag that because he deserved it.
It was great.
Just
I'm
like,
gonna go friend him after the, or follow him on Facebook and just type him like your.
I think I follow him on Instagram, but he chewed up the scenery hard.
So good.
And I mean, just have to put on that blue paint every day and do your stuff. But
And the teeth, prosthetic teeth too.
he was blue painted all the way to the stomach too. Like he was blue painted.
They made a joke about that because they're like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, I just did it.
Like, I love people that care about their craft. Drax was also Dave Bautista took 4.5 hours of
And Gamora took
paint
5.
prosthetics.
She took more, yeah.
Like, and he's like, I guess it takes 2 hours to take off. So at the end of the day, when you're exhausted, you've acted for 8 hours. You have to sit there for 2 hours just let them take the shit off you. You know, like probably your skin is like raw and destroyed.
Drink this.
Yeah,
I think we said enough about this. They know that we love this movie. And what did you think, Jamie? What did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
It's on par with the pudding.
On par, and she loves that.
That pudding's dope.
She loves that pudding.
Thanks for coming, guys. Stay classy.
Bang, bang, boom.